Marines never go into a battle blind. We sense and collect critical information about the battlefield, the enemy, and other factors to help us create a plan to fight and win.
That information is going to come from the edge. As we get this sensing information, it's just going to be raw information, and we're going to have to figure out what that is. And it's going to move back into a command operations center.
That raw information might not initially make sense, but there's a process to make it make sense.
So regarding the targeting cycle and how we make sense of information, so you have various surface sensors. This TPS-80 behind me contribute to that by providing us an air picture of what's going on within the friendly area of operation.
This system has worked for a long time, but as tech changes, new challenges appear.
The challenge that we have today is that when we look at the advanced persistent threats of near peers across the spectrum, they have the ability to reach with long-range precision fires. So the formation and the configuration of our systems today are at risk. Our combat data network capability today weighs about 1,200 pounds. Things break, things need to be repaired, they need to be replaced, and every time that we need something repaired or replaced, we need to move somebody into an operating environment. We got to think about the human factors of being forward deployed. The most important part of anything that we're doing is those Marines. I still got to get that person water, I still got to get them food, I still have to get them medical supplies, I still have to do all of those things, and we want to minimize that movement as much as possible because it signals. Which puts them at risk, puts the mission at risk, and if we can reduce the amount of Marines to have the same effect, that's deterrence, that's a value. What the Marine Corps is focused on is moving to a smaller presence, smaller form factor, enhanced capabilities. So it's two things that seem diametrically opposed. I want more capability, but I want less size, I want less weight, I want less power.
Today, we don't have a good package to do this. So we can collect this information, get it to the commander, but the commander's got to look at a lot of different things and try to start bringing the pieces together, and it's a lot of swivel chair, a lot of manual work.
And we've got to change that as fast as we can.
How do we get that best of breed of small capability from a physical perspective, but maximizing our ability to do that sensing, make sense, and act?
Organizations like MCTSSA take on these challenges and are making new prototypes that we can fight with at exercises like Bold Quest.
So Bold Quest is a Joint Staff J6-led initiative where we have multinational partners that come to Camp Lejeune, and they're here testing a host of our systems.
We do it all digitally now, so it's a little bit more efficient, and we're looking towards the future use of being at a longer range away from friendlies and being able to implement and talk to our strike assets.
These new prototypes are the MCP and the Dynamis Mesh.
To try to take as many hardware programs of record as we can and turn them into software and put them on one small form factor piece of hardware.
So what the MCP is, it's a combination of the air C2 and the ground C2 components all collabs into a modular small form factor.
Trying to decrease the size, weight, and power of the existing equipment. The idea is that we take the applications out of the environment that it used to be in into something a lot smaller, a lot more portable. We've taken other applications and started to actually consolidate in there. So you'll see things like Minotaur, Tactical Assault Kit, traditional Geeks boxes that gives you an all-domain picture of both surface, ground, and air tracks. That way the forces on the ground have a full concept of visibility on what's going on.
So the Dynamis Mesh Kit is a Claws Voyager AQP. Pretty much provides a lot of compute, a lot of storage, a lot of power. Gives you access to PLEO, 5G, and basically any MilSatCom connection that you want. That's what it is on its face, hardware-wise. The actual concept of Dynamis Mesh is the actual software package that we're working on. What's the Zero Trust architecture software that we have, the security software that we have, plus all the C2 BMAs that we have added onto the Mesh Kit. Once you mature the software, mature the hardware, figure out how it can tap into CPE, how it can tap into the IMNs of the world, that's what our solution set will provide. So previous prototypes, all secret, no foreign, all internal joint communications. The Dynamis Mesh Kit is looking towards the future coalition networks, the future combined joint networks. The mailman unit of the world can be the Dynamis Mesh Kit. In the future state, the Dynamis Mesh deployment would have a 06 and above commander that has a requirement to talk to joint partners and coalition partners, the Dynamis Mesh Kit capability, that software package, will provide him the ins and the outs to talk to those coalition partners.
It's the start of a long campaign of migrating towards the separation of software from hardware. The idea is that the applications themselves are not tied to a specific form factor, hardware type, or even vendor. That way, whatever it is that you have as far as hardware-wise, you use that in order to deploy the applications in an a la carte fashion in order for you to accomplish your mission.
So the MCP differs from the Dynamis Mesh because the MCP is the fight tonight solution. Ours is focused on what it can do today to close the kill chain, whereas the Dynamis Mesh is fight tomorrow solution.
So our combat data network capability today weighs about 1,200 pounds. Dynamis Mesh is about 44 pounds. So this prototype capability demonstrates our ability to maintain the command and control capability we have in a smaller footprint. So this is what this technology is ultimately looking at, to reduce the toil and the stress on those Marines and make them as efficient and effective as possible. And that's going to take a combination of new technologies, especially around artificial intelligence and machine learning, to be able to process more data at a faster rate than a human can and provide that information to that commander to be able to make those decisions quickly.
The prototypes improve on old tech, but also prepare us for the future.
A Marine, regardless of where they are on the battlefield, should be able to access the information, data that they need to do their specific mission, regardless of where it comes from.
Data is the 5.56 round of the future. Whether it's us or whether it's our adversaries, whoever figures out how to weaponize that data the fastest is going to win on the battlefield.
And that's going to take a combination of new technologies. Project Dynamis is the service contribution to CJAD C2, Combined Joint All-Domain C2. That is a Department of Defense initiative to be able to demonstrate that we can send data from any sensor, anywhere in the world, any service, and it also allows us to be able to extend that to our allies and partners. Again, that allows us to have a deterrence effect because information is going at the speed of relevance, where it needs to go to inform the commanders it needs to inform, and allows them to make decisions that put us in the overmatched position from our adversaries.
It's not in our interest as a Corps to do our own thing. We got to be working to a common standard, and we can't afford to have multiple solutions. But to get us all on this joint Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines on the same sheet of music working together, but also our coalition partners doing the same thing. And it's really intended to be the driving force behind that.
So what it looks like in the future battlefield is that Echelon 4 capability. That's going to be a division or a wing or a group. That means that those actors are going to be able to get the type of data that they need from anywhere in the world to be able to inform their mission. Whether that is from a logistics perspective, right, being able to inform my logistics supply chains, where information, where ammunition, where supplies need to go, when they need to be there. That's one use case. From the air side, where do I need to put those aviation assets to be able to make sure that I'm able to counter that threat or be able to surveil capabilities I need? From a ground side, right, that is being able to get that information to those Marines so they can position themselves in the best place to be able to collect the data they need to and be able to, again, hold that adversary at risk or punish with speed and violence.